Some love for Susanna. Let's go. It is such a great honor to be here in service of her mission, of how much she gives, how much she believes, her dedication, her drive, her love for you. She's back here, she can hear you. Let's go. I have to thank Gilberto because he got me fired up. I feel good. I also have to praise you. I have to praise you. Do you know how many thousands of other people saw this invitation? But you're here. You. Thousands of people saw this invitation. You chose to show up. You chose to do the work. Because everyone says, I want to change my life. I want to change my life, Brendon. And they won't do the work. We all know there's such a greater amount of joy in life. Joy. We know there's more love. We know there's more fun. We know there's more contribution and success and wealth and health. But how come so often we get off track? Why is it so often we feel disempowered, discouraged, fearful? You know what to do to break through, but common sense is not always common practice. And so, why is that? We all want to experience such an extraordinary quality of life. We all want alta performance. And then some days we have alta performance, and then we go home and we sit on the couch and we open the bag of chips. Our spouse comes in who we say we love, like, don't talk to me. Ah. And we're like, what happened to me? Why do you have momentum some days? Why are you confident some days? Why are you a jerk some days? Why? That's what today's talk is about. I believe that the most successful people in the world have so much greater appreciation for life, for the moment, for the opportunity to serve. They have intention that's so much higher than most people who just kind of go through the motions. And they have the courage to change. And we're going to talk about those things today. Because the problem is, sometimes we're operating from old patterns and old stories and old hurts. Something your parents said to you, your friends said to you, your coworker said to you, and you felt embarrassed and shamed, and you shut down, and you got protective, and you held back. And then one day, just when it matters that you succeed, that old story pulls you back. Just when it matters, you open up and you're vulnerable and you tell the truth, you pull back. Why? Why does that happen? Because we're all here to live a great life, yes? Like, we're here to live a great life. Why don't we? What happens? Those old stories pull us back and we're too scared to change. How many of you have felt over the last couple of years a little fear of change? The change was too much, it was too hard, too frustrating. You're like, how long is this gonna go on? What am I gonna do? And you got frustrated because the change was hard. Today we're gonna talk about 3 phases of change that will turn you back on. Because if you're in what I'll call phase 1 of change, you're stuck, you're upset, you're holding back. If you're in phase 2, you're comfortable, things are good. Maybe you're bored though. If you're in phase 3, you're moving forward. There's progress, there's push, there's fire. That's where we want to get you. And I'm not here to talk to you philosophically or even as your coach. My job today is I'll just share my story and hopefully share some of the breakthroughs that helped me find my passion and my heart and my purpose again after it was broken. The same lessons I've been blessed to train Oprah or Usher or NFL or football or Olympians on for the last 15 years. You know, I've gotten to coach the United States presidents. Sorry. I thought that was funny. I don't know. You never know how it translates, but that was pretty funny. I've had that blessing with so many amazing people, and it's the same truth over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. It's about finding your appreciation for life and your hunger to be better. That's why you're in this room. How many of you, I don't know if this word makes sense, how many of you believe in serendipity? Or in divine?
Yes.
I do. I think we're in the right place at the right time in our life. And sometimes we don't know it. See, I don't know if I'm supposed to go down here, but let me show you something. I think there's a reason that you are sitting next to you. Do you know each other? You don't. What's your name? Ricardo? Thousands of people. You're sitting next to each other. Why? Just turn the person to your left or your right and grab their shoulders and shake them and say, thank you for being here. Would you do that? Thank you for being here. Try.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here.
Maybe there's a reason you were in this room tonight. Raise your hand if you understand. Maybe there's a reason you were here tonight. Maybe there's a reason that you saw this invitation and you said you wanted to change. You wanted to be inspired. Maybe there's a reason you're in this room with your family or your team. And maybe that reason is something you need to trust and do the work. Maybe something brought you here, and it wasn't Susanna or Gilberto or myself or anybody else, but rather you're here because you followed the impulse to be inspired, because something great is about to open up in your life, and you have to be prepared.
Yes.
Maybe something beautiful is going to open for you in the next couple months, and you had to be here to hear something, to adapt, to find your confidence and your inspiration again. Trust that. Whatever that thing is, not me, something for you, something that came down and you thought, oh, I'm supposed to change now. I'm supposed to be a better leader now. I'm supposed to be a better mom now. I'm supposed to be a better son, father, parent, caregiver, leader. Because somebody is counting on you to be great at the next level. To be greater for your family, to earn more, to build more, to serve more, to enjoy more. Because some of you already made it. You have the things you thought you were supposed to have, but you're miserable. And you're like, why? Trust that you're here for that reason. I believe we have to trust the impulse for personal development. Some of us, it takes a big shake. Like, you get a big surprise, and you're like, whoa, I have to change. That's what happened for me. If you never heard my story before, when I was a 19-year-old boy, a kid in high school, I fell in love with my first love, my high school sweetheart. She was the first woman I ever loved, the first woman I ever kissed. We fell so deeply in love our whole life became together. And then she decided she wanted to go to college. I didn't want to go to college. I was just going to mow lawns. I was going to do landscaping. I didn't think of going to the college. It wasn't on my... I followed her. She went to college, so I said, okay. So we loaded everything up in a little U-Haul, and we went over the mountains in Montana to this college, and we were signing up for the same classes. We lived in the same dorm, same apartments. We had the same friends. We did everything together. And then halfway through that first year of college, she cheated on me and went outside the relationship. And I didn't have the emotional tools to deal with that. So many of you know, sometimes when that happens, when a relationship falls apart, you fall apart. And that relationship fell apart, and I fell apart. I couldn't get out of bed to go to class. I didn't want to go to class because she was in all the classes. I didn't want to hang out with my friends because she was all with my friends. I didn't want to shower. I didn't want to eat. My friends were worried about me, and I fell into a dark depression, and I couldn't get out of it. And then I started planning my suicide and decided to take my life. And fortunately in my life, I believe in serendipity, and things happen for a reason. And one time my roommate came home and he put the school newspaper on my bed and left, and didn't think anything of it. And I picked up the school newspaper and I was flipping through the pages, and I saw this big ad in the newspaper. And that ad changed my life. It was, I can still see the picture. It was a white sandy beach. It was turquoise blue ocean, bright blue sky, and a big palm tree. And across the top it said the perfect headline for a boy who is struggling with life. The headline said, "Escape." Yeah. Escape. Oh. Students needed for summertime jobs in the Dominican Republic. I didn't know where the Dominican Republic was, but I knew my ex-girlfriend wasn't there. So I said, let's go. So I went down there with a friend, and we became like glorified tour guides. We took clients around the ocean, around the island. We took them scuba diving. We took them to the little towns. We took them surfing. We just had a wonderful time taking people out, me and my friend Kevin. And then one night, a little before midnight, we hopped into our car, we took a client home. Kevin was driving, and we started going back to where we came from. And as we were driving down this road, I remember the pain of the breakup starting to lift. And we were driving down the Dominican Republic, and all the windows were down. And if you've ever been in the Caribbean, you know that hot, humid air is coming into the car. All the windows are down. We're going 85 miles per hour down this road, just speeding. And on the road, or on the music is Tom Cochran's "Life is a Highway." Life is a highway, I wanna ride it. Yeah, you know. So we were driving down this road, and then we came upon a corner that, where I'm from in the United States, would have had one of those big yellow signs, warning, sharp corner, slow down. But it was a developing country and they had no sign. So we came in the corner at 85 miles per hour. And as we came into the corner, the lights went off the road, and we could see that we were going to make a corner. Kevin, who was driving, my friend, he grabbed the steering wheel and says, "Brendon, hold on!" and cranked the wheel. And what happened for me in the next couple of minutes after that is serendipity. It's why I'm here tonight. He grabbed the wheel, "Hold on!" The car started shutting sideways, and I braced. And if you've ever braced in an emergency, that terror, that scared feeling, what that is your fear of death. Because at the end of your life, you have a second before you brace, you wonder, did I live? If this is it, did I live my life? Did I live it? And it was weird because the accident was happening, everything was like slow motion. And I remember feeling that, did I live? And I didn't like the answer to that question because I hadn't been living my life. I had been planning to take my life. I didn't appreciate life yet. The car started sliding off the road, and it went in that very weird, strange, turning, slow motion thing. And we started sliding off of the road, and there was rocks and bricks that were serving the irrigation ditch, and we hit it at 85 miles an hour. Pop! The car goes up in the air. I hit my head. And I started seeing all these images of my life when I hit my head on the door. And it wasn't like in the movies where you see yourself a little small and you get bigger and bigger and bigger and more beautiful and, you know, hopefully more handsome and happy. I didn't see any of that. What I saw was little scenes in my life when I was surrounded by people that I love. I could see the image of when I was 12 years old and I had a birthday cake in front of me and my mom was over here singing that happy birthday, happy birthday. I could see my little sister over here on a swing set and I could see her swinging and just smiling. And we're having so much fun. And we're feeling that ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. Because my dad had installed that backyard swing set, and you know that one pole always comes out of the ground, and we're swinging. And you see images from throughout your life, little scenes, when you're with your friends or with your family, people that you love, and it makes you ask, did I love? Did I love? Did I love openly and honestly and completely? Or did I hold back because one time I got hurt? And that had happened for me. I hadn't loved because my heart got broken, so I held back. The car spun several times in the air, landed on the ground, rolled several times. I got knocked out completely. When I came to, Kevin, who was driving, was screaming, "Brendon, get out of the car, get out of the car." And there was blood all over his head, and his head was open. He said, "Get out, get out." So he crawled outside the driver's side window, and I went to crawl outside my window, but I couldn't because the car was smashed. So I had to pull myself through the window of the car, and I remember I stood up onto the hood of the car and I looked down, and I could see the blood coming off of my legs onto the car. And there's a lot of blood just pooling onto the car. And I looked down and I could hear Kevin screaming, and I thought, oh my God, oh my God. And I started feeling like I was gonna faint, pass out. And I just remember thinking, did I even matter? Was there a reason I was here? Was there a purpose? And I was a 19-year-old kid. I never thought about those things, so I didn't like the answer to that either. Did I live? Did I love? Did I matter? No. And I felt like I was going to pass out. And I looked down, and there was a reflection in the blood that was coming off of me on the hood of the car. And it was like something was sparkling in the blood, and it made me look up, and it was a reflection of the moon. And there was this bright, big, beautiful moon that night. And as the sphere had shot down a moment earlier, when I looked up and I saw that moon, I felt this connection. And I felt like later what I called life's golden ticket, because I felt like God had reached down and handed me a ticket and said, you're still alive, you can still love, you can still matter. But now you know the clock is ticking. And I remember getting that ticket and feeling like I was going to be okay. And this gratitude and this warmth and this love of God came into my life, and I just felt like I'm going to be okay. Thank you. And I remember saying to myself, I will earn this. I will earn this life. I will earn this second chance. I will earn this opportunity to live. I will work for it. I will be different.